Hey, what's up, you gold and silver stackers out there? Beautiful evening in Lauderdale by the Sea, as you can see. A couple young folks down there playing, I guess it looks like hot potato. I'm not quite sure. Is that kind of a hot potato game? Perhaps. But anyway, oh, he dropped it, or is it like the time bomb game? Anyway, beautiful evening. Look at that sky, and as you notice, if you live here, you know that it is getting darker and darker. Well, not if you live here. If you live on the East Coast, it's getting darker and darker a little bit earlier. You know, I don't really like this daylight saving times thing. I really kind of prefer it if it just kind of got darker later, gave us more light at the end of the day. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below, even though this is not a daylight saving time site. Anyway, let's kind of move along to precious metal prices here and take a look at what's going on. Let's see what New York closed at. New York spot price closed at 1956.30. As I said yesterday, I figured a par value was slightly higher, and that's exactly what we got. We got a slightly higher day. Same thing with silver, a little slightly higher day. And why have I been saying that? It's because of the trend that I've been noticing that if, well, for example, take a look like last night, or I guess yesterday, the world spot prices closed at 1954.60, which kind of lead me to believe that it was going to be about the same or a little bit higher, as the world markets have been kind of an indication, and the closes on the world markets have been an indication of what New York will open at the following day. And let's take a look at what the world markets are right now. I really don't know what they're going to close at, but there's kind of some strength here at the opening. We'll see later, or actually I'll see in the morning what the world spot prices closed at, or later this evening what these prices closed at. But if it closes up about par value or higher with New York, you can generally expect that New York is going to be about the same or higher. Just a little trend that I've noticed by watching this stuff over and over and over. And for me, it's kind of like people, you folks that have children, and you've watched this child grow up from an infant until the age of 16, and you almost know every turn. Well, maybe you don't when they're teenagers, but when they're little, you almost know every turn they're going to make at some point, just because you're watching them all the time. And you see patterns, and that's exactly what I see. I see patterns. And I see dead people. No, just kidding. That's a quote from a movie, actually. But I see patterns, and that's kind of what has kept me correct here for a short period of time. I mean, for the last 6 months, I've been pretty much spot on with these videos and what I felt that New York would open up as. And the only time I've kind of been wrong is when the dollar kind of has increased in its buying power and strength, and markets have been down a little bit, but never for long. Anyway. Kind of wanted to talk about one thing here, why you're buying gold and silver. A lot of people like to say, well, I'm buying it as an investment, but it's not a traditional investment. Really, I think you should look at gold and silver more as a hedge. And I know this is really simple, simplifying everything, and I don't mean to be like thinking that everyone's, oh, you're so dumb, you don't know what hedge means. But even myself, I kind of got to look and remind myself, well, what is a hedge? A hedge is an investment that is made with the intention of reducing the risk of an adverse price movement in an asset. Normally, a hedge consists of taking an offsetting position in a related security. Well, what is an inflation hedge? And again, hedges can be all kinds of different things. If you think that something's going to fall, for example, and you can buy something that's going to offset that fall, that would be a hedge. And I'm not quite sure what to give you in a solid example right now as a hedge, but let's take a look at an inflation hedge. An inflation hedge is an investment that is considered to protect the decreasing purchase power of a currency that results from the loss of value due to rising prices and other macroeconomically or due to inflation. And that's really what gold and silver is. It is an inflation hedge. And if you think about it, there's an old story that, or there's a story that says that in the 1920s, for example, 1928, 1927, you could go buy a tailored, nice men's suit with a $20 gold piece, which had about an ounce of gold in it. Well, that's probably still true to this day. It still would cost an ounce of gold, approximately, to go buy a nice tailored men's suit. I'm thinking about $2,000. Don't get me wrong, you can spend 10 grand on a suit, but it's kind of all relative to each other. So gold is kept up with inflation big time. What really you're seeing is you're just seeing the decreasing buying power of your dollars over the course of the last 100+ years. Probably since and accelerated since we've gone off the gold standard. Anyway, take a look at this inflation hedge, because that's exactly, you may call it investment, you can call it whatever you want, but really, when you are buying gold and silver, you are buying an inflation hedge. So you might as well know what that means and what it is. And that'll make you a more astute buyer and seller by knowing exactly why you own this metal. Anyway, let's kind of move along here to something else I wanted to talk about. Why I think that we are at end times. And I'm kind of half joking there when I say end times, but I'm looking at the investment world. I'm thinking like, when I think Wall Street when I was younger, and when I think Wall Street, and maybe I'm naive about this, but I think of companies making wonderful products, like the first Apple phones and iPads and iPods, and what made Apple great. And and Snapple, remember when Snapple came out with their new product? Everybody was drinking Snapple and their stocks flew. Well, that was a result of creating a great product that everybody was buying, And the reason that their stocks did so well, and the reason that their investors did well, is because people were buying a product they believed in, a product that they liked. And again, I know you're looking at this headline, you're saying, well, where's he getting to with this? Well, the point is what the hell is investments now? When Kim Kardashian can make a tweet on Facebook, Instagram, and she can cost Facebook a lot of money, and she can cost Wall Street a lot of money by a fall in the price of Facebook. What does that say about this whole market? Holy cripes! And then look too. I'm sorry. What was that? TikTok? I don't see where TikTok was on here somewhere, but TikTok's been in the news for the last couple of days, and really, what is TikTok? I mean, perhaps I'm not really viewing it for what it is in advertising form, but, really, if you look at all these different investments right now in Wall Street, and none of them are being fueled by what they make or the products they produce. Maybe a little bit to some degree, but really is what is fueling all these big corporations and these stocks and everything. It's not the product, it's the amount of money being put into the company. It is money looking for a place to go, because they are creating so much money, and there's so much money available out this, and this money is just being thrown into stocks and bonds and real estate and other things too, and perhaps gold even. However, if you look at these companies, and what are they producing? Not really much at all. And I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but it's kind of disturbing that a company like Facebook, their stock would tumble, and that Wall Street would actually have an effect. They would actually have an effect on Wall Street because something Kim Kardashian said. Man, that's pretty fucked up. Excuse my language, but wow, we're living in freaking clown world right now, and that is why you want to own gold and silver, because the clowns are running the world, and gold and silver is a great inflation hedge. And hey, I don't know if there's such thing as the word clown hedge, but gold and silver is a great clown hedge at all as well. Maybe I'll have to create a little meme for that and show it to you later. Anyway, let's take a look at the Wall Street Journal and see what's going on in there. Stocks and bonds about sideways. I don't know what's going on with the Dow Jones and that whole market. But anyway, it's just kind of been sideways for quite some time, like a zombie market. I guess if they pump more money into it, it seems to go up. Bad news seems to make it go up. It makes no sense. Let's take a look at some other things. Dow Jones investigates electric truck startup Nikola. Well, if you've been following that whole thing, that's pretty much kind of funny. The guy that owns the company took this Nikola truck right here, which supposedly didn't even have a power plant on, and had it driving down, picture this angle, my cursor's going, had it driving down a long, kind of slowly sloped road like it was running on its own power, and he's kind of sold this image to people as a working truck. Well, let's see what happens with this, because GM got suckered into the tune of millions and millions of dollars too, buying into it. But anyway, it looks like they're investigating that. We'll see what happens. It might be like Tesla with his problems with his cars. It may go nowhere. Again, I like Musk, though. I like Elon Musk. But here, let's not digress there. Take a look at some things here that might affect gold and silver and precious metals. I don't really see anything other than the normal nonsense. It just says we're not getting any better as far as dollar strength. The economy is not getting any better. And overall, that's good for gold and silver stackers. And don't feel guilty because, you're making money on gold and silver because the rest of the world's going shit. It's not your fault, necessarily. Although we all do vote, and we actually do have to get some smarter people in the office here. Left, right, center, you name it. The people that did the job for this COVID and everything like that, closing down businesses, ruining the economy over something like that, they all need to go. Well, anyways, don't want to get too political on you. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Lots of cool products that I've got in right now. Premiums have come down substantially on all this stuff. My prices are cheaper than the online sellers, and my prices are cheaper than the locals around here. So anyways, come by or call anytime, 954-493-8811 for a free quote. Live quote between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. If you got any questions, watch some of our other videos, and please feel free to subscribe. And that's really about it. I appreciate you watching. Again, feel free to come in the store if you want a little more education. Watch my videos otherwise. And as I said, thanks for watching and have yourself a great evening. Talk to you tomorrow. Let's see what happens. And as I said, I think the markets will be about the same, slightly up.